The sky burns. The day began like any other. Children walked to school, shopkeepers opened their stores, and workers rushed to their jobs. The skies were clear, and no one expected that by evening the world would never be the same. It started with a strange hum in the air. People first thought it was thunder, but the sound grew deeper, heavier, until glass windows trembled in their frames. Then the sky itself darkened, not from clouds, but from shapes that did not belong to Earth. Across every city, people stopped and stared upward. Dozens, then hundreds of massive warships slid into the atmosphere, their metal hulls shining like knives in the sunlight. The Imperial fleet had arrived. News broadcasts broke into regular programs. Anchors shouted over the noise of alarms. Governments tried to calm the population, but fear was already spreading. Sirens screamed across the continents as defensive forces were called into position. The first message came not from Earth, but from the invaders. A deep voice echoed across every channel, every screen, and every speaker. People of Earth, you belong to the Empire now, kneel. Surrender, and perhaps some of you may live. The arrogance of the words sent chills down every spine. In crowded streets, mothers clutched their children. Soldiers tightened their grips on their weapons, and world leaders stood frozen. The demand was clear. Earth was to kneel or burn. The Empire had done this before. On countless worlds, their fleets had arrived with overwhelming force, burning resistance within hours. They expected the same here. After all, Earth was not part of the galactic stage. To them, humanity was young, unprepared, and fragile. Above the planet, the first warships moved into attack positions. Their cannons glowed with deadly energy. Shadows of the great ships stretched across cities like dark wings of doom. The Empire wanted fear before destruction, inside the hidden command bunker beneath. The Rockies, Earth's leaders gathered. The atmosphere was tense. The president, pale but determined, asked the question everyone feared. Do we have any chance at all? General Silva, the commander of Earth Defense, stood with steel in her voice. They think we are weak. They think Earth will fall in minutes. They are wrong. At her command, silent codes were transmitted across the oceans, mountains, and deserts. Hidden bases woke from their long sleep. For years, humanity had prepared in secret. For decades, whispers of a project ran through the military, a project known only by one name, Iron Dawn. But even as preparations began, the people of Earth saw only fire and shadow. From the skies came the first strike. A beam of white energy lanced down from an Imperial cruiser. It cut through a skyscraper like a blade through glass. In an instant, the tower collapsed, dust and screams filling the air. The world gasped in terror. Cities erupted into panic. Roads jammed with fleeing cars. Soldiers scrambled into defensive lines. Jets launched into the sky. Tiny insects compared to the massive invaders. The Empire commander, hidden in the heart of his flagship, laughed. This world will be broken in hours, he said to his officers. Mark the date. Humanity will be a slave race by tomorrow. But on the streets of Earth, fear mixed with something stronger, defiance. Ordinary people looked at the burning skyline and clenched their fists. Soldiers swore oaths not to surrender. In small towns and great cities alike, humans stood ready to resist even if it cost them their lives. The sky burned brighter as more energy beams tore through the air. Buildings fell, firestorms raged, and the night came early to Earth. But deep underground, within armored chambers, something stirred. General Silva gave the order, her voice calm but fierce. Activate Iron Dawn. In the darkness, engines older than the war itself began to roar. Massive hangar doors, hidden under oceans and buried in deserts, started to open. The ground trembled. As giant machines prepared to rise, humanity had not been idle. Humanity had been waiting, yet the people did not know this. To them, it seemed the end had come. Families huddled in basements. Children cried. Men and women whispered prayers. Across the globe, the same fear pulsed through billions of hearts. And above them the Imperial fleet glowed like a sea of stars turned hostile. They thought Earth was a simple world, a soft target. They thought humanity would kneel, but they were wrong. The sky burned, yes, but in the fire of that sky, humanity's true power was about to rise. The hidden command beneath the earth, far from the burning cities, steel corridors hummed with life. The secret command bunker stretched for miles, hidden under layers of stone and reinforced metal. Only a few thousand people in the entire world knew it even existed, and tonight it became the beating heart of humanity's last hope. Screens flickered with images of firestorms across the globe. Imperial warships filled every feed, their weapons tearing at the surface. Operators shouted, updates, their hands racing across consoles. Beijing shield holding, New York in flames. Paris under bombardment, Africa. Unknown contact reports incoming. The president sat at the center table, eyes locked on the horror before him. His voice was tight, nearly breaking. They will destroy us, General. They will not stop. General. Silva's face was carved from stone. She did not flinch, did not look away. Mr. President, we have prepared for this day. The Empire thinks we are weak. They think we are children playing at war. They have no idea what humanity has been hiding. She raised her hand and the lights dimmed. A massive hologram lit up the room, showing Earth from orbit. Beneath the oceans, under deserts, even inside hollowed mountains, shapes glowed. They were massive ships, silent guardians hidden for decades. Project Iron Dawn, Silva declared. Our ancestors found alien wreckage years ago. From those ruins we built weapons that the Empire cannot imagine. Tonight we reveal them. The room went silent. The president stared at the glowing map. His lips moved, but no sound came. Finally he whispered, "You mean we are not defenseless?" Silva's eyes burned. "No, sir. Humanity has teeth." In another chamber, deep below the bunker, crews rushed into action, pilots strapped into seats. Engineers activated ancient machines. Doors as large as mountains groaned as they began to open. Salt water flooded away. Sand fell from hidden caverns. The earth itself seemed to awaken. Far above, the Empire's flagship floated in cold confidence. The commander, Lord Vaynar, watched the surface burn with cruel delight. His officers bowed low. "My lord, resistance is minimal. Their weapons are primitive. We will finish them in hours," Vaynar sneered. "Humanity, such fragile creatures. They will make fine slaves for the Empire's mines." But his words froze when one of his officers shouted, "Admiral, strange energy readings from the oceans. Something massive is moving. Back on Earth, the people still hid in fear. They did not know the secret. They only heard explosions, saw their cities fall, and believed doom was certain. Yet in that darkness, hope stirred in hidden hangars. From beneath the Atlantic Ocean, the first Iron Dawn warship rose, a beast of steel and fire. Its hull shimmered with alien-forged armor. Its engines roared like thunder. Water cascaded down its sides as it broke the surface. The night sky lit with its power. At the same time, in the deserts of Nevada, the sand cracked open as another warship emerged, towering cannons glowing with blue light. From the frozen Arctic, another titan of war broke through the ice, rising like an unstoppable mountain. The operators in the bunker cheered. Their voices trembled with awe. "Iron Dawn vessels are online, all systems green." General Silva's lips curved into the first smile of the night. "Send a message to the Empire," she said. "Tell them Earth is not theirs to claim." Up in orbit, Lord Vaynar leaned forward, his crimson eyes narrowed. On his screens, he saw the first human warships rising to the heavens. "Impossible," he hissed. "They should not have this technology. How did they—" His officers trembled. "My lord, the human ships. They are locking weapons." Across the skies of Earth, the people looked up. At first they thought it was more alien death machines. But then they saw the markings, bold flags of Earth. They were human ships, massive, terrifying, and real. For the first time since the invasion began, the people felt hope. In the streets, cheers mixed with the cries, soldiers lifted their weapons high. Mothers whispered to their children, "Look, look. That one is ours." The sky still burned, but now fire answered fire. Humanity had revealed its hidden hand, and somewhere deep, inside every human heart, a new truth was born. Earth would not kneel. Earth would fight. The hidden command had spoken. Iron Dawn had awakened. The Empire's arrogance. The Imperial fleet spread across the heavens like a steel storm. Thousands of alien ships hovered over Earth, their weapons glowing, their commanders confident. They had crushed 100 worlds before, and to them, Earth was no different. From the bridge of the flagship, Lord Vaynor watched the human warships rise from the oceans and deserts. He narrowed his eyes but smirked. So the humans have toys, interesting, but toys cannot win wars. His officers laughed. Their ships are crude, my lord, look at. Their designs blocky, simple compared to our sleek cruisers. They will crumble in minutes. The arrogance of the Empire was legendary. On every planet they had conquered, they believed themselves untouchable. Their technology was centuries ahead of most species. Their fleets were larger, their weapons more powerful. To them, resistance was just entertainment. But deep within the bunker, General Silva studied every detail of the incoming fleet, her voice steady as steel. They do not understand us. They never studied humanity. They think we will fight like the others. They are wrong. Above the Pacific, the first clash came. 3 human warships rose into the sky. Their railguns hummed with power. The Empire sent a squadron of 10 cruisers to meet them. The aliens laughed as they opened fire. Blinding beams of plasma streaked across the sky. To the world below, it looked like the end. The cruisers rained death, explosions tearing across the heavens. Children cried, mothers screamed, even soldiers lowered their heads, but then, silence. The smoke cleared, and to everyone's shock, the human warships still stood. Their armor glowed, but held strong. The alien beams had failed to pierce it. One operator in the bunker gasped. They survived. They actually survived. General Silva's eyes narrowed. Not just survived. Now watch. The lead human ship fired. A railgun blast cut through space like lightning. One Imperial cruiser split apart in an instant. Metal, fragments scattering like ashes. Another blast followed, and a second cruiser exploded into fire. The laughter on the alien bridge stopped. Lord Vaynor slammed his fist into the console. Impossible. How can primitive humans pierce Imperial shields? But still he smirked. It does not matter. We will crush them with numbers, prepare the fleet. Across the skies, more cruisers formed up. Thousands of guns pointing at the human ships. But the people of Earth saw something they had never seen before. Aliens retreating. Imperial cruisers that once charged with pride now pulled back, regrouping, cautious. In the streets below, crowds began to cheer. They saw human warships glowing in the clouds, real and unstoppable. For the first time, humanity looked not helpless but powerful, yet danger was far from gone. Lord Vaynor turned to his second-in-command. Send in the dread units, end this now. Show them the Empire does not bow to insects. At once, colossal alien war machines emerged, larger than mountains, glowing with energy. Their cannons dwarfed even the tallest towers. To the naked eye, they looked like gods of fire descending upon Earth. Inside the bunker, screens shook with energy readings. General, their firepower is off the charts. Our ships cannot match that directly. Silva's expression hardened. Then we do not match them directly. We fight smarter, not louder. Humans adapt. Humans strike where they do not expect. On the battlefield above, human warships broke formation. They scattered like birds avoiding a hawk. To the aliens, it looked like panic. Officers in Vaynor's fleet laughed again. They flee. They are breaking, but they did not notice the trap. Hidden under the waves, submarines older than the war itself powered up. They carried weapons the Empire had never seen. Energy-tipped torpedoes designed to shatter shields. At Silva's signal, the ocean erupted. Dozens of torpedoes streaked into the sky, cutting through the underbellies of the dread units. Explosions ripped across the alien giants. Shields flickered. Armor cracked, and in minutes, 2 dread units fell in flames. The galaxy watched in silence. Human warships, primitive in design but deadly in strategy, had done the impossible again. Lord Vaynor stood frozen, his arrogance cracking for the first time. These humans, they fight like no species I have ever faced. But then his sneer returned. Let them have their little victories. They have not yet faced the true wrath of the Empire. The battle raged on, But Earth had proven a truth no one in the galaxy wanted to believe. Humans were not prey. They were predators waiting in silence, and though the sky still burned with fire, the balance of power had begun to shift. Humanity strikes back. The night sky burned red. Debris from destroyed alien cruisers fell through the atmosphere like falling stars. Cities below trembled under the sound of distant thunder, but instead of despair, hope now flickered in the hearts of billions. In the hidden command bunker, operators reported every detail. Enemy dread units destroyed, human fleet maintaining position, new alien reinforcements incoming from orbit. General Silva stood tall, her hand gripping the table. Good. Let them come. They think we are finished, but this battle has only begun. Across the oceans, more hangars opened. Titanic warships, rising like ancient gods from their graves. Their hulls glistened with alien-forged steel, their weapons glowing with blue-white fire. Humanity's fleet was no longer a rumor whispered in shadows. It was real, and it was awake. One ship rose, higher than the rest, larger, darker, carrying the name Erebus. Its cannons stretched like towers, its engines shook the seas. The sight of it made operators in the bunker whisper in awe. That ship alone could fight a fleet. Above the clouds, the Empire regrouped. Lord Vanar sneered at the glowing human. Fleet. So Earth hides warships. So Earth has claws. It will not matter. Their fleet is small. Their numbers are nothing compared to us. But even as he spoke, humanity struck. The first wave of human warships surged forward, railguns cracked. The night. Each shot carried tungsten slugs moving at speeds faster than thought. They ripped through Imperial shields like paper. Cruisers exploded in fireballs one after another. The Empire fired back. Plasma beams and missiles filled the skies. To the world below, it looked like two suns colliding above Earth. But human ships were fast, darting and weaving. Their shields, shimmering but never breaking. The true weapon was not their firepower. It was their precision. While the Empire unleashed storms of chaotic fire, humanity struck with surgical strikes. One human shot meant one Imperial ship destroyed. Again and again, the alien fleet lost vessels in minutes. In the streets of burning cities, people stopped running. They looked up at the glowing sky, not with terror, but with pride. For the first time, the invaders were losing, and they were losing fast. On the flagship, Lord Vanar's officers shouted in panic. My lord, our losses are mounting, shields are failing, human weapons are unnatural. Vanar's eyes blazed. Silence. They cannot win. They are only one world. We are the Empire. We cannot be defeated by insects. But in the bunker, Silva gave another order. Deploy the shadow wings, at once. From hidden caverns in the Andes Mountains, smaller ships burst into the skies. Sleek, black and nearly invisible to scanners. They moved like shadows. They cut through the fleet unnoticed, planting warheads on the hulls of Imperial destroyers. Seconds later, explosions lit the heavens. Entire alien formations shattered. Their arrogance turned to chaos. Officers screamed, fleets scattered, and for the first time in centuries, the Empire retreated from a battlefield. The people of Earth roared with joy. Their cries echoed in streets. In shelters, even in the ruins of broken towers, children pointed to the sky shouting, "We are winning. We are winning." But in the quiet corners of the bunker, Silva knew this was only the beginning. Her voice was low as she told the president, "We bleed them now, but they will not stop. The Empire will return stronger." Angrier, "We must be ready." The president nodded, his face pale but fierce. "Then let the galaxy hear us tonight. We will not kneel. We will not break. Humanity will stand." High above, the Erebus unleashed its main cannon. The beam tore across the stars, splitting an enemy battleship in two. The explosion lit the night brighter than the sun. The galaxy would remember this moment, the night humanity struck back. And though victory was far from certain, the message was clear. Earth was not prey. Earth was a predator awakening. The Empire had tried to conquer Earth. But tonight, humanity showed them what it meant to fight a species that refuses to kneel. Secrets of the past. The battle above Earth raged on, but for a moment, humanity stood tall. Imperial ships burned like falling meteors. Human warships glowed with strength. The impossible had happened. Earth had fought back, yet questions spread across the world. How did a primitive planet cut off from the galactic stage possess weapons strong enough to crush an Imperial fleet? Families hiding in basements whispered, "Where did these ships come from?" Soldiers in the streets asked one another, "How did we build them?" Even the president turned to General Silva and demanded, "What are we truly fighting with?" General Silva's eyes darkened. She knew the truth had to come out. Humanity had not built its weapons alone. Decades earlier, before most alive, today were even born, a different battle had touched Earth. An alien warship, wounded and broken, had crashed into the deserts of Nevada. Governments covered it up, calling it a meteor. Only a handful of scientists and military officers ever saw the wreck. Inside that ship lay secrets older than Earth's greatest empires. Weapons carved from alloys unknown, engines fueled by energy that bent the laws of physics, data cores filled with blue light that hummed like a heartbeat. Humanity had touched the stars that day, through a corpse of war. Silva remembered standing in that hangar as a young officer. Staring at the alien wreck under bright lights, her mentor had whispered, "If we can learn from this, Earth will never be prey." And humanity did learn. For years, hidden labs in mountains and seas worked in silence. Engineers tore apart alien engines. Scientists studied data cores until their eyes bled. Soldiers trained with weapons reverse-engineered from alien designs. Slowly, painfully, humanity built its secret. They called it Project Iron Dawn, a name meant to remind them that in the darkest night, a new sun would rise. But the scientists also discovered something darker. That wreck had not belonged to just any alien fleet. It carried the insignia of the Empire itself, the very same power now attacking Earth. Humanity had built its defense from the bones of the Empire's own technology. Back in the present, Silva told the truth to the president and the council, her voice cold but proud. "We did not start this war, but the Empire gave us the tools to survive it. Their arrogance brought us weapons, and our will turned them into power." The president leaned back in his chair, struggling with the weight of the revelation. "So all these years, we have been preparing with stolen fire." Silva nodded. "Not stolen, earned. They dropped it on our soil. We learned because that is what humans do. We adapt. We rise." In orbit, the Empire's scanners finally detected the truth. Officers screamed reports to Lord Vanar. "The human ships, they bear signatures of our technology. They have copied us." Vanar's face twisted with fury. "Blasphemy. Insects playing with the weapons of gods. This cannot be allowed." But no fury could erase the reality. The Empire had underestimated a species that never stopped learning. On the battlefield, human ships fought not with overwhelming numbers but with clever strategy. Each vessel carried modifications no alien could predict. Railguns enhanced with alien alloys, torpedoes charged with hybrid energy, shields bent from both human ingenuity and Imperial science. The galaxy had seen many enemies rise and fall, but none like this, for humanity did not invent its strength in isolation. It had turned the Empire's own arrogance against them. In the streets of Earth, whispers turned to pride. People realized that every broken piece of alien wreckage, every hidden lab, every secret project had led to this night. Humanity had risen not by chance but by choice. Children watching the skies pointed at the human warships and shouted, "That is ours, we built that." Soldiers grinned through smoke and fire, knowing their weapons carried both Earth's blood and alien brilliance. But even as the truth gave strength, it also gave warning. If the Empire discovered humanity had stolen their secrets, their wrath would double. Already, Vanar prepared his ultimate weapon, a flagship dreadnought unlike anything humanity had yet faced. Silva knew it. Her voice carried steel as she addressed the bunker. "This war is not over. The Empire will send its greatest weapon next. They will try to break us in one strike. But we are ready." And high above, hidden behind the burning wrecks of fallen cruisers, the massive shadow of the Imperial dreadnought began to move. Its engines glowed red like a dying sun. Its cannons pulsed with enough power to split a planet. The secrets of the past had saved humanity so far, but the next clash would decide if Earth lived or burned. The turning point, the sky. Over Earth was already burning. But when the Imperial dreadnought appeared, the night itself seemed to tremble. It was not a ship, but a floating continent of steel and fire. Its shadow stretched across oceans. Its cannons glowed like molten suns. People in every city froze as the monstrous vessel broke through the clouds. Its engines roared with a sound that rattled bones. Children clung to their parents. Soldiers gripped their rifles, though they knew such weapons were useless. The message was clear. This was the Empire's true wrath. In the command bunker, alarms screamed, operators shouted. The dreadnought is entering atmosphere. Energy readings are off the charts. It could destroy half a continent with a single strike. The president's voice cracked. Can we stop it? General Silva's jaw tightened. We will stop it, or Earth will fall tonight. The human fleet rose to meet the monster. Railguns and torpedoes streaked through the air, exploding against its shields. But the dreadnought did not flinch. Its armor absorbed the punishment. Its cannons replied. One blast vaporized a human destroyer. Another cut through the sky and split a battleship in two. The cheering in the streets turned to horror again. The people who had just begun to hope now wept as they watched the human fleet break under the dreadnought's fire. Lord Vanar stood tall on the bridge of his monstrous ship. His eyes glowed with cruel triumph. This is the power of the Empire. This is the end of Earth. In the bunker, silence fell as one operator whispered, General, our fleet is collapsing. We cannot hold them. But Silva's eyes did not waver. We still have one card to play. The operators turned to her, confused. She raised her hand and spoke a single order. Activate the solar spear. Deep beneath the Earth's crust, in a chamber known only to a few, a machine older than the war itself stirred. It was humanity's most dangerous weapon, built from the heart of the alien wreck and powered by Earth's own sun. For years it had been hidden, waiting for the moment when survival itself depended on it, as the dreadnought prepared its final strike. The skies above Earth lit with a strange light. Energy gathered in the upper atmosphere, condensing into a beam that shimmered like liquid fire. Lord Vanar frowned. What is this? What are they doing? General Silva stood in the bunker, her hand steady on the console. This is humanity's answer, the solar spear fired. A blinding beam of golden energy split the heavens. It tore through clouds, burned the air itself, and struck the dreadnoughts. Core for a moment, the giant ship's shields flared white, resisting, groaning under the unimaginable force. Then, with a sound like a world breaking, the shields shattered. The beam punched through the dreadnought's heart. Its cannons went dark. Its engines screamed as fire ripped through its colossal frame. The night sky exploded with light brighter than the sun. People on the ground shielded their eyes. Some fell to their knees, thinking the world itself was ending. But when the fire cleared, they saw it. The dreadnought, the unstoppable weapon of the Empire, was falling. Its vast body crumbling, breaking apart as it plunged into the ocean with a roar that shook the planet. Silence followed, then cries of disbelief, then roars of triumph. From Tokyo to New York, from deserts to frozen plains, humanity screamed as one. We did it, we destroyed it. In the bunker, operators wept openly. The president slumped in his chair, whispering, We are alive. But General Silva did not celebrate. Her eyes remained cold. This was only one ship. The Empire will not forgive us for this. They will send more. They will send everything. Up in orbit, the remains of the Imperial fleet drifted in chaos. Officers screamed in panic. The dreadnought is gone. The humans destroyed it, my lord. We must retreat. Lord Vanar's face twisted with rage. He smashed his hand against the console. His pride burned hotter than any fire. Retreat for now, but mark my words. These humans have declared war on the Empire, and the Empire does not forgive. On Earth, though battered and scarred, humanity stood victorious. For the first time in history, a so-called primitive species had destroyed the Empire's greatest weapon. The galaxy would never see Earth the same way again. And in the quiet aftermath, General Silva whispered the truth. To herself, this is not the end. This is the turning point. The message to the stars. The ocean still boiled where the dreadnought had fallen. Its wreckage burned like a second sun beneath the waves. Cities smoldered, skies glowed with ash, and the world trembled in silence. For a long moment, no one spoke. No one moved. Humanity waited, hearts caught between terror and triumph. Then the first cheer rose. A soldier standing on the ruins of a shattered building lifted his weapon high and screamed, "We are still here." The cry spread like wildfire. Across streets, across continents, through broken radios and crackling feeds, the same words echoed. Humanity had survived. In the bunker, operators slumped against their consoles. Some wept, some laughed, some simply sat in shock. The president covered his face with his hands, whispering, "We did it. Somehow we did it." But General Silva remained standing, her eyes still sharp, her voice firm. "Do not celebrate yet. The Empire is wounded, not destroyed. They will return. But tonight we showed them something they will never forget." High above, the remains of the Imperial fleet limped back into orbit. Dozens of ships crippled, many destroyed. Lord Vanar stood on the bridge of his battered flagship, his pride bleeding more than his wounds. His voice shook with fury. "Insects. They defied me. They destroyed my dreadnought. The Emperor will demand blood." But even in his rage there was fear, fear of a species he had once mocked. Now he knew the truth. Humans were dangerous. In the streets of Earth, people emerged. From bunkers and ruins, they stared at the sky where human warships still floated, massive and unbroken. For the first time they felt not just fear but pride. Pride in being human, pride in standing against the greatest power in the galaxy. The president turned to Silva. "The world must know, the galaxy must know, we are no one's slaves." Silva nodded. "Then send the message." Technicians linked every satellite, every surviving broadcast tower, and every channel stolen from the Empire. Billions of eyes across the galaxy turned toward Earth, waiting. The humans had been silent for centuries, unknown, ignored, dismissed. But now their voice would shake. The stars. General Silva stepped forward, her image broadcast across the void. Her uniform was torn, her face marked with smoke, but her eyes burned like fire. Her voice carried the weight of a world. "We are humanity," she said. "We did not seek this war, but you brought it to our home. You thought Earth would kneel. You thought we would break. Instead, you burned our skies and we rose stronger. You unleashed your greatest weapon, and it lies dead beneath our oceans." Her words rolled across every channel, through every world connected to the Imperial net. Slaves, rebels, and rulers alike froze to listen. "Hear this well," Silva continued. "Earth does not belong to the Empire. Earth belongs to humanity. And if you come for us again, you will not leave. We are no longer silent. We are no longer prey. We are the storm you never expected. We are here to stay." The feed cut to the image of Earth itself. Warships rising like guardians around the planet, their engines glowing like stars. For countless species across the galaxy, it was the first time they saw Earth not as prey but as a predator. On distant worlds, whispers began. The humans. They fought the Empire and lived. On slave planets, hope stirred. On rival thrones, fear crept. The balance of power had shifted. In the bunker, the president exhaled. "That message, they will hear it everywhere." General Silva looked at the burning horizon. "Good. Let them hear it. Let them know Earth stands." Above, in the darkness of space, the battered Imperial fleet retreated. But in their silence, one truth remained. They would return stronger, vengeful, ready to crush. And when they did, humanity would be waiting. The sky still burned, but in that fire humanity had been reborn, no longer hidden, no longer weak. The galaxy would never forget the night Earth struck back.